Hello YouTube, I am back. Let me cut the light on. I don't know if you can see. I don't know. It's the lighting or whatever. But hello, I am back with another video. This is just an update on me and my scleroderma. I don't know if you can tell. Let me put the video up. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but sometimes I deal with a little bit of puffiness on my face. Well, sometimes I can't remember what side, but one side of my face usually becomes swollen. Sometimes I feel like a puffer fish. I did a video, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago, telling my truth about me and my scleroderma. And over these few years, as well as this year that has passed, July was my year anniversary of me finding out about my scleroderma and how and then now I'm here to talk about within that year what I've been going through as far as ups and downs, as far as working, living, taking care of my kids, and me just adjusting to the fact that my body is totally different now. And I wish I would have knew years ago, because some of the things that I can't really explain that I went through as far as miscarriages and losing children back to back, not knowing what particular reasons, because I would have all these tests done and everything would come up negative, and not knowing that this could have been a part of me back then, but I didn't know until now. So now I look back, like a lot of people ask me about different stuff. I feel like as far as the scleroderma diagnosis, each person deals with different things, but all of them are kind of like the same thing. Like some people have skin issues, some people have the tightness, some people have the swelling, some people have the lung part. Like far as what have I known, when I first got diagnosed, my doctor was telling me that it's an autoimmune, but first she was telling me I had a connective tissue disease. At first she just didn't know what, because my test kept coming back positive for lupus, but I know I didn't have lupus. And she was like, I don't feel like you have lupus, because I didn't have anything going on with my organs or anything like that, other than my gallbladder, which I had removed back in December. So all these things was going on. So she just kept doing some testing. But one thing that stood out to her that I actually found out that I had the scleroderma was I guess you would call them ulcers. I think that's what she was telling me. Ulcers, it would come up on these main two fingers. And then I was telling her that my hands, like I'm cold now, she probably can't really tell. But when my hands get really cold, if I get really cold, like I used to notice my feet used to turn bluish, purplish. And I was like, what is that? But I didn't really think nothing of it. And then next thing you know, my hands started doing the same thing. When I get really, really cold, my hand would almost turn like I've been, you know how you touch a pack of Kool-Aid and the dye gets on your finger, or if you touch paint and the paint gets on your finger and it gets, turns a blue or purple color, or depending on the color you took, it just dyes on your hand. My hands would look like that, but they would look like a deep gray, purplish looking color, like it's almost bruised, but it's actually Raynaud's. So I had learned about that, and then I had started having issues. When I found out about my scleroderma, I started asking, okay, is this why I'm having back pain? Is my back pain tied to my scleroderma? Is my bladder issues tied to my scleroderma? Is my skin issues tied to my scleroderma? And it wasn't when I realized, because I had a really bad breakout before I found out about the scleroderma, but my face was just like, I never seen it look so bad. I don't know if I was okay, maybe it's acne, maybe it's the birth control I'm on, maybe I didn't know. And once I started taking these medications she was giving me before she found the right medications to give me, my face had started clearing up. I stopped swelling. Sometimes I have my hands swell up like sausages. Face swell up sometimes. My ankles, for the past, I see my doctor on August the 6th, which is this upcoming Monday, the 6th, because today is the 1st. This video is the 1st. So I will see her next week on Monday in the afternoon. And it's this other thing they were telling me about. I got to get more in detail, but I don't want to say the incorrect thing, where you can get hypertension in the lungs and it causes swelling of your ankles. I want to say shortness of breath. So sometimes I have trouble with my lungs and me breathing and me walking a certain amount of distance before I go like, well, I'm just I'm completely out of breath. So working has been hard for me. My daily activity has been hard for me. I try not to limit my kids where they can't go outside. I let them go outside and I go outside sometimes. But the reason I don't really go outside like that is because of the bees. I'm allergic to bees. I don't want to get stung. So outside, I'm not really an outside person. But when it comes to them, like we go to a water park or something like that, or a recreation park where you just have the water and let them play or whatever. But I deal with shortness of breath. I deal with my skin breaking out. I deal with, when I first noticed a skin breakout was years ago. They told my mom it was eczema. And I was like, okay, it's eczema. Okay, my skin used to break out really, really bad. Then I remember one time before I had my first daughter, my skin just started peeling. It looked really, really crazy because I was like, Lord, where's my face? It looked like I had almost got burnt. And then you know how your face started to turn a discoloration or something. It just looked weird. And I was like, okay, what is this? But I didn't think nothing of it. My first actual pregnant that I carried her full term, which is my 4-year-old, that pregnancy was wonderful. But prior to her, I had 3 miscarriages, like back to back. And I just didn't understand, like, okay, could I have kids? What's going on with me? They didn't say that I had any cysts. They didn't have anything going on in my cervix. It was nothing they could tell me to explain why I was having these miscarriages. Just a big mystery. I had my first daughter. She's 4 now. Great pregnancy. I worked all the way up full term with her. She actually was born 40 weeks and 2 days. Over. All right. My last baby, she's 2. When I got pregnant with her, it was the roughest pregnancy. I was sick all the time. I kept getting a sinus infection. I kept having colds. Right here, like underneath your belly, where your pelvic bone is, I just kept getting so sore. Carrying her right there. I couldn't walk. I was out of breath all the time. I was just so miserable. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? Okay, so after I had her, I had like really, really bad stomach pains. They couldn't tell me what it was. They was just saying, well, maybe we want to make sure everything came out after the pregnancy. Boom. I didn't have a stomach infection because I had a stomach infection after I had my first baby, my 4-year-old. After this time, I was like, okay, my stomach's hurting again. Let me see if I'm having another stomach infection. They said, no, negative, no stomach infection. They said it's your gallbladder. So I got my gallbladder taken out in December 2017, the 21st. It was a few days before Christmas. So I said, I got to get this out because that was really bothering me. But I still have stomach issues, as well as I have back pain issues where it just comes all of a sudden and I just have to just sit and I can't move, because if I move, it's just like it just get tense and just get tight and tight and tight and tight. And it's just all in the upper back area, up in my neck and then in my shoulders. If I do some moving, like if I was to move my couch a little bit, or if I want to change my room around, I would have to actually get help, because if I move it around, I'm gonna be hurting for the next few days or so. So it's like certain stuff is like you're very limited of doing. So working would be very limited. I had one scare, and this was right before she found out what I was having. What was going on with me is when I was working, I just started that job and I had to quit. Well, actually, I got fired and quit. I had to, I got fired because I kept missing days. But this one particular day, I had got up the night before. I was fine. I just was a little sore. I couldn't move my legs. I was like, okay, why I can't move my legs? Not thinking none of it. They numb, can't feel them. The next day I get up, take my kids, and I send them to daycare, and I go to work. So I'm like, my whole right leg was swollen. And I was like, what in the world? Like, I couldn't walk. Like, when I was walking, I was literally, it was like I couldn't, like I was losing the feeling of walking, like I couldn't walk no more. Like I was, you know how somebody's ready to get paralyzed and or something happened to me, they have limited mobility. Like that's how I was feeling with my legs. I was like, oh my God, why I can't walk? And my legs were, both of them were so sore, I couldn't move them. And my whole right leg, I don't know if I had did some extra work, maybe it was a lot of walking, because I was working at a hospital at the time, so I was going from room to room, hospital room, just working, walking. So I don't know if I just did more damage of walking on my right side, but I do favor my right leg a lot when I like to stand up on it. But I don't know, but it was just swollen. So I called and the man got a message to my rheumatologist. I was telling her basically what was going on. Then I went to go see her a few more times, and then I started telling her about my skin, about my hands turning blue. And then she was like, let me do one more test. And then when she called me in, I was kind of nervous. I was like, okay, what she about to tell me about that? Because the way she called me in, I was like, you know how people just talk around. Oh, the reason I called you in because I wanted to talk to you about some things. Remember when I told you to go get a CT scan of your, first it was, she told me to get a ultrasound of my heart. I did a breathing test. And then I did a CT scan of my lungs. I think it was like a picture. I was in this machine and it's like this big circle, and it's like, it's take a picture of your whole, you know, your inside or whatever. All three of those things was done to see if one, my heart was okay, and if my lungs were okay. There were scarring on my lungs, and those are commonly found in patients who have scleroderma. So I was like, okay, what is it? Because it took me a minute to learn how to say scleroderma, because I was messing that word up like 5 million times. To this day, my mom, she just gets it all just misconstrued, and I don't even know how she pronounces this, but it's just crazy. But I haven't really made any videos in the past 4 months or so. It's because I've really been, my body's kind of up and down. This disease is very up and down. It's very challenging. I feel like you can work, but the type of work you would have to do, the job has to be very flexible to you, because sometimes you might wake up and, okay, good, I feel great. And then some days you wake up like, look, I'm not really feeling good today. And then it's like when I have a cold, my cold lasts me, I'm just now getting over a cold that I caught from my children, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it's been about a month since they had a cold, and I'm just now getting over my cold. And I remember she was telling me that she was like, scleroderma is an autoimmune disease that attacks the lungs, as well as you can get hypertension of your heart or lungs or something, she was telling me. And she was like, we want to be careful with that. But she was like, I want to put you on this medication. It's really, really strong. So if you're planning on having kids, you might not want to take this. So she put me on the medication, and it does pretty good. Me, on the other hand, I just don't swallow pills. In that particular pill, I have to chew it and swallow it because I don't swallow pills. I've never going to swallow a pill. I mean, you just give me the liquid, give me the shot, I can deal with it. You give me a pill, I'm gonna look at you like you're crazy. But I know I have to take it. So I take it. I have acid reflux issues. I have stomach issues that I'm still trying to figure out. I have bladder issues sometimes, still trying to figure that out. I see a rheumatologist. I have a urologist. I see a lung specialist. Who else I see? And then I got a regular PCP. But it took me a year. Some people it took me a year to get my doctors in order. But it took longer for me to find out what was going on with me. I started having these symptoms, I want to say 2 to 3 years ago. And then the last year, I had to figure out what was going on because it was getting more like I can't walk, I'm getting numb, I'm in pain, I'm swelling. My first very scary encounter was when I woke up one day and my hands were so swollen I couldn't even put my clothes on. I was like this, you know, I couldn't put my clothes on, I couldn't get ready to go to the ER because my hands were like, boom, big marshmallow hands. Just can't move. And the lady was like, well, it might be rheumatoid arthritis. Then my doctor, where I was seeing at the time, I had to switch PCPs because she wasn't listening to me. Once I switched her, my doctor I have now, she's great, she's wonderful. She takes really, really good care of me. She pointed me into the direction. She's like, I'm going to send you to a rheumatologist. And then when I got to the rheumatologist, she sent me to a lung specialist. And then after that, my PCP sent me to a urologist. And then it was just like overflowing, like, okay, boom, I got all these people in order. Now I can figure out, okay, why is this going on? Why is that going on? And a lot of them were saying, well, yes, it may be due to the scleroderma, why you having certain issues over here and certain issues over there. So it's just, I'm still learning. And I noticed that when I look at when I look up about scleroderma in other people's stories and stuff, everybody looks different to me. Some people look like their skin is very, very hard. Some people, those are the most people I've seen. But I think it's different. I don't know if it's different stages or different. I'm still learning. So I think it's different stages or different levels of the scleroderma, which you can have. When I first read about it, I can't remember too much in detail because I don't even want to say, because I don't want to be wrong. But I just go back and forth and just keep looking. I look at everything. I look at when people have skin issues. I look at people if their hair is thin, because my hair is thin. Started thin and it started coming out, and I was like, oh my God. One day I was washing my hair and it was just coming out in blobs, and I was just like, what in the world? And now I've been dealing with dandruff, and I'm like, what's going on? So I think you have skin issues, things dealing with your tissue, your lungs, your heart, you know, breathing. I have to have my pump. I have to have my inhaler. My next video, I'm going to get into where I lost my health insurance through Medicaid. That's my next video, and why I still don't understand. And I think it's because of the state I'm in. And then in my state, we didn't expand Medicaid. Well, now we have, but during the time that I found out about my stuff and all this other stuff I had going on at the time, they didn't expand it, but now they have. So it's going to be different in January 2019, but I'm going to see if I can get it back in January 2019. We're going to see. But yeah, so this is like more in depth, different stages and different things I have going on. Like right now, I've been going through my ankles swelling and my feet swelling. So I don't know how this appointment is gonna go, what she's gonna be talking about, because I just hate swelling. It's just, I feel like a puffer fish. If you want to know any more things, you can inbox me. I see YouTube has an inbox where you can send messages and stuff. So if you have any questions, you can send me a message on here or post a comment, and I will respond. A couple people responded to my first video. So yeah, if you have any comments, questions, or you want to know more info about me and my experience, I'm gonna make another video. Probably, I'm trying to figure out, do I want to make the video when I go to my next appointment, and y'all can come with me to my next appointment and see. But thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or you want to comment, just comment below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.